Hello, hello. Welcome to You Have a Collect Call from. Dan, welcome back. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate the support. Boom. Gonna grab a coffee. That's right. I gotta go ahead and start getting ready for work. But I think this stream is gonna run about this one's gonna be about an hour and 30 minutes. So, but then I have another one coming up in about 25 minutes from Minnesota. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that running shortly to be on the lookout. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna go to the background. Hello, hello. So we're just waiting right now for the hearing to start. They are dragging their feet for some reason. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. Or once it does start, then somebody should be coming in. I started this hearing about 7 minutes, and they still haven't came in. What the hell are they doing back there? Anyhow, hopefully they're back shortly. Just hang tight, and it should start shortly. Right now, while we wait, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post up the individual's information that's gonna be coming up next, and it should be. Let's see here. Gregory, I believe. Well, there's not that many today. Today it's only three. I don't know, is it three? Hold on. Let me double check here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't.
It should be Gregory. Let's see what Gregory is in for.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yeah, you talk Spanish?
Sí, yo hablo español. Dame un momento, estoy buscando al intérprete.
Okay, thank you.
Ah, it's that heavy duty. Look, he's all lined up, all freshly lined up, ready to go home. And let's see what happens. Vamos a mirar qué pasa con el heavy duty aquí. Let me see. I don't see any. Maybe unless no, you know what? I don't see any. And there it is. Say a little prayer. You're going to need it. I don't know about that tattoo skull you got over there, how much that's going to help you out during the hearing. Maybe it's, I think it might be Kevin. This might be Kevin. It has to be Kevin. Yeah, I don't think he's Gregory. Vamos a mirar al Kevin. ¿Qué hizo el Kevin? Connecticut arrest. Let's see. Oh, let me see the chat right here. Let me see. Hey, welcome, Danny. How's it going? Taftwood, welcome. Some more sickles today. Oh, man. Hopefully not, man. Good morning, Maribel Vasquez. Hey, what's up, Mad Max 408? That's one weak razor. Don't always harm SA. Let's see, man. Let's see what Kevin.
Good morning. We have Liza Rivera in the room for interpretation. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that you will faithfully discharge according to law your duties as interpreters to the best of your abilities. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury. I do. Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Martinez. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2025. And this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and, by stating their names on the record, certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Good morning, Mike Paul.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Buenos días, soy la oficial de Libertad Condicional Martínez. Hoy es viernes del 2025 y esta es una audiencia de la Junta de Indultos y Libertad Condicional de Connecticut. Los siguientes miembros de la Junta están presentes esta mañana y, al decir sus nombres en el registro, certifican haber revisado todos los documentos legalmente requeridos e información pertinente disponible en preparación de esta audiencia.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Por favor, decir su nombre y número de confinado para el registro.
Kevin Cuevas, 44515151. 445151. 445151.
He sounds Puerto Rican.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Kevin Cuevas, inmate number 445151.
Esta audiencia se está llevando a cabo en consideración a la aplicación de libertad condicional de Kevin Cuevas, número 445151.
He is serving a sentence of 6 years execution suspended after 30 months with 3 years probation for threatening and criminal possession of a firearm.
Él está sirviendo una sentencia de 6 años, ejecución suspendida y luego de 30 meses y 3 años a seguir de libertad provisional por amenaza y posesión criminal de un arma de fuego.
As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of October 21st, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. Mr. Cuevas has maintained employment as a tierman as completed Tier 2.
Hasta el día de hoy, los expedientes reflejan una fecha de elegibilidad para libertad condicional del 21 de octubre del 2024. No hay testimonio de víctima en este caso. Hay un plan de responsabilidad para el ofensor. Cuevas ha mantenido empleo como tierman y completó el programa Tier 2.
Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Utilizando el sistema colaborativo estatal de evaluación de riesgos del ofensor, el puntaje general del ofensor en el SRT cae dentro del rango moderado de riesgo de reincidencia. Esta es su oportunidad para expresarle a la Junta por qué piensa se le debe conceder libertad condicional. Puede comenzar.
Lo primero es mis hijos. Yo tengo 6 hijos, dos nenas y 4 varones. Quiero que se me dé la oportunidad. Yo no voy a hablar a la probatoria jamás en mi vida. Quiero trabajar, mi empeño es trabajar, salir a trabajar, hacer las cosas bien, ver mi familia, mi madre, que está enferma. ¿Qué más te puedo decir? Que me den la oportunidad a ver si pues, de hacer las cosas bien, y arrepentido de todo lo que hice, pero gracias a papá Dios esto me sirvió de escarmiento.
Deme un momento, por favor. What can I say? My children. I have 6 children, 3 daughters, 4 males. I will not violate my probation. I want to work. I want to do what I'm supposed to do out there in the community. I want to be with my family. My mother, she is ill right now. ¿Puede continuar?
A ver si me dan la oportunidad. Yo no jamás en mi vida voy a volar la probatoria. Yo soy una persona de bien, yo no soy una persona violenta. Lo más que quiero es ver mis hijos, trabajar por mis hijos, pagar el child support y volver otra vez al mundo, a ver si me dan la oportunidad.
I will not ever violate my probation. I am not a violent person. I just want to go to work. I want to provide child support for my children.
Okay. Are you done with your statement, sir?
Sí.
Sería todo, señor.
Okay. We have questions for you. When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate, give you our decision.
Tenemos preguntas. Cuando terminemos con las preguntas, entonces deliberaremos y le daremos nuestra decisión.
We'll begin with my colleague, Mr. Pohl. Thank you.
Comenzaremos con mi colega, el señor Paul.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Mr. Cuevas.
Good morning.
So can you tell me exactly what happened in this event? What role did you play?
¿Me podría decir exactamente qué es lo que sucedió en este evento? ¿Cuál fue su rol en lo que sucedió?
Yo estaba trabajando en el barbershop, estaba trabajando y llamé a mi primo porque la madre de la nena me estaba llamando para que la buscara. So, yo salí porque fui a mi guagua y intenté prenderla, parece que dejé la luz prendida y se agotó la batería. So, llamé a mi primo para que mi primo me llevara a buscar la nena y parece que él estaba discutiendo con alguien, porque en verdad el caso no fui ni yo, pero y parece que él estaba discutiendo con alguien y pues, tiró 4 tiros y se fue del carro y a mí me cogieron, ¿me entiendes?
Un momento, por favor. I was working at the barber shop. I called my cousin because my daughter's mother was working and she wanted me to pick her up. I called my cousin for him to take me, but I think he was arguing with someone. Él estaba discutiendo con alguien.
Sí, parece.
¿Puede continuar?
Y después de eso, pues la policía parece que llegó, parece que llamaron y él se fue porque donde estaba era una calle sin salida y cuando él tiró, la policía llegó y él se fue cogiendo y a mí me cogieron en la guagua. Yo no soy de Bridgeport.
He was arguing with someone called the police, but he left. He took off. He was a street with no end, and that's when I got caught.
So part of the threatening piece here is that the victim here identified you as somebody that was discharging a firearm.
En cuanto a la defensa de la amenaza, es que la víctima lo identificó a usted como la persona que estaba descargando el arma de fuego.
Sí, porque me vieron a mí la guagua.
Yes, because they saw me inside the car.
So did you have the gun?
¿Usted tenía el arma?
No.
Did you shoot the gun?
¿Usted disparó el arma?
No, yo no la disparé nunca, pero ya pagué por esto.
I didn't discharge the firearm, but I am paying for this now.
Did you threaten anyone?
¿Usted amenazó a alguien?
No he amenazado a nadie.
I did not. I haven't threatened anyone.
Okay, so was this a drug-related event?
Esto fue un evento que estaba relacionado con las drogas.
No. Lo que cogieron en la guagua, eso no era mío.
But they found inside the car that was not mine.
Mm.
So you were with people who had a gun, shot a gun, and is that right?
Entonces usted estaba con personas que tenían un arma de fuego y que dispararon el arma de fuego. ¿Es esto correcto?
Sí, es correcto, pero yo no sabía nada.
Yes, that's right, but I didn't know anything.
So why would you put yourself in a place where you're with somebody who has a gun and is shooting a gun?
Entonces, ¿por qué usted se pone en esta situación de estar con alguien que tiene un arma y que está disparando un arma?
No, pero era que yo no sabía. Yo me molesté con él, yo discutí con él en la guagua y le dije, ¿cómo?
It's just that I didn't know. I didn't know. That's what I got into an argument with him inside the car.
Me puso a mí en esa posición, ¿me entiendes?
He put me in that position.
So you have a substance use problem.
¿Usted tiene un problema de abuso de sustancia?
No, gracias a Dios no. A mí me daban Percocet en la calle. Yo cogía Percocet en la calle because I got shoot here.
I was taking Percocet outside
Pero ya no la puedo coger más nada.
because I got shot, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not taking them anymore.
No.
Percocets, what are you talking about?
So 30 times 4, so 4 a day. So where are you with pain now?
¿Cómo usted está en relación al dolor ahora mismo?
No, pues lo que pasa es que yo tengo una placa. I got metal here. I got metal here. Because my dad in Puerto Rico just died. Somebody shoot my dad in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So I was there with my dad. He died in my hands. So I got shot because the people want to kill him. And
So
Puerto Rico, when I was young,
When did you get shot?
like
¿Cuándo ustedes
18,
dispararon?
yo tenía como 18 años, 19, por ahí.
18 or 19 years old.
So how is it that you get shot when you're 18 or 19 years old?
¿Cómo es que a usted le disparan cuando usted tiene 18 o 19 años?
And you're on 100 and wait. And you're on 120 perks a month when you get incarcerated.
Y,
How does that even add up?
y te tenía un total de 120 perks al mes. ¿Cómo suma todo esto?
No, pero era en Puerto Rico, aquí no.
It was in Puerto Rico, not here.
I don't think he understands your question.
So let me rephrase the question. So you just said you got shot when you were 18 or 19 years old. You're now 38 years old.
Yeah.
And just before you went to prison, you were on 120 perks a month. You got a script for 120 perks a month and had a detox when you went in. I don't know how you don't have a drug problem if you don't have any pain right now at all.
Oh, no, porque cuando yo llegué a Estados Unidos, aquí no me las daban, so yo las compraba por la calle para el dolor, porque eso es lo único que me lo quita. So cuando yo llegué a la cárcel, yo estaba, viciado con eso, so me estaba enfermo. Y yo le pedí a la señora que si había Suboxone o algo para yo no estar enfermo en la cárcel, y entré a Metadona.
Okay,
Ella me dijo que el Suboxone no existía en la cárcel para aquel tiempo.
De un momento, por favor, me está diciendo que usted no las podía conseguir cuando llegó aquí a Connecticut
No,
y las estaba buscando en la calle.
sí.
Yeah, I was getting them by myself outside in the street because when I moved here to Connecticut, I was not getting prescribed for it. I was getting them out in the streets.
So I don't even want to. I'm walking the fine line on medical things right now. Are you currently participating in any program while you're at the facility?
¿Está usted actualmente participando en algún programa mientras
No.
está en la facilidad?
No, gracias a Dios no. Estoy limpio de todo.
Thank God I am clean.
Nothing.
Nothing. At all.
So let's go back to my original question. Because you did take tier 2. And
Yes.
you were on 120 perks a month when you went in. And my question was, do you have a drug problem?
Déjeme ir a mi pregunta original. Usted participó del programa Tier 2 y cuando usted entró, usted estaba en un total de 120 perks al mes. Usted tiene un programa de drogas, un problema de drogas.
No, yo lo que pasa es que cuando yo entré a la cárcel, yo le dije a la señora que yo cogía percos en Puerto Rico. Entonces, cuando yo me vine para USA, aquí no me las dieron. So, yo las compraba en la calle. Cuando yo llegué a la cárcel, estaba enfermo por eso, porque yo las compraba todos los días para el dolor. Es todo. Entonces,
What happened was when I went to prison, I told the lady that I was taking perks when I was in Puerto Rico, and since I was not finding them here, I was getting them like out in the streets, and I was sick because of it, because I was taking them.
eso te enferma, because this is obvio, you know.
That makes you sick.
But you don't have any pain right now.
No. They give
So
me
if you were taking 120 perks on your way in and you don't have any pain now, don't you think you had a drug problem on the way in?
Entonces, si usted estaba tomando 120 perks al mes y usted no tiene ningún dolor, entonces usted no entiende que usted tenía un problema de drogas cuando usted entró.
Bueno, sí, porque en verdad sí, porque cuando yo no tenía, yo las compraba en la calle.
Yes, because when I didn't have any, I used to go outside and get them out in the street.
That's where I was going.
Okay.
So you have a drug problem. Once
Okay.
you have a drug problem, you always have a drug problem. If you were to take another perk, you know what would happen?
Eso es lo que me refería. Entonces usted tiene un problema de drogas. Si usted vuelve a tomar una perk, eso significa que usted tiene un problema. Usted siempre va a tener un problema de drogas.
No, I'm not drinking no more. That.
So now that we're clear where we are, what did you learn in tier 2 that will help you as you go out into the community?
Ahora que estamos claros, ¿qué usted aprendió en el programa de Tier 2 que lo va a ayudar afuera en la comunidad?
El tier 2 aprendí que eso te abre los ojos, porque a veces uno está ciego en muchas cosas, y eso te this open your eyes. This program is good. Eso te abre los ojos, te hace entender las cosas de otra manera, cosas que a veces uno no entiende, you know.
It opens your eyes, it helps you understand that sometimes you do not understand and that you are blinded by certain things.
What will you do to support not using when you go back into the community?
¿Qué usted haría para no volver a utilizar esto cuando usted vaya afuera a la comunidad?
No, yo quiero estar más con mi familia, con mis hijos, con gente positiva, ¿me entiendes? Gente
To be with my family, my children, positive people.
Didn't you have those when you went in?
Usted no tenía esto antes de llegar a prisión
And you still used?
y aún así estaba usando.
Perdón.
Usted no tenía este apoyo que mencionó anteriormente antes de entrar a la prisión y aún así estaba utilizándolo. Estaba usándolo.
Bueno, sí, en parte sí.
Yes, in part, yes.
So are you going to do anything to support your not using when you're released into the community?
¿Va a hacer algo usted para prevenir utilizar otra vez esto cuando vaya a la comunidad?
No, yo no lo voy a hacer más nada. En el nombre de Jesús no lo voy a hacer nada más nunca en mi vida.
No,
Porque yo no quiero
I'm not-
problemas, yo no quiero volver a la cárcel más nada.
I'm not going to do it in the name of Jesus. I do not want to come back to prison again, ever.
When the parole officer interviewed you, you said that you had a job, but I didn't, when you're released, I know that you have skills as a barber, but it wasn't clear as to what the job is when you're released.
Cuando la oficial la entrevistó a usted, usted mencionó que tenía un trabajo. Sé que usted
Sí.
tiene destrezas de barbero, pero no estoy claro en cuál es el trabajo que usted tiene cuando vaya a salir.
Barbershop. Yo tengo de trabajo, tengo 2 personas que me van a dar trabajo. Voy a buscar cuál barbería tenga mejor, que no haya mucha gente loca.
There's 2 people who are willing to give me a job, and I'm just gonna find a quiet barbershop that is not a lot of crazy people.
Para no tener problemas.
In trouble.
So you also said that you want to go to school. What do you want to go to school for?
Usted también mencionó que quería ir a la escuela. ¿Qué le gustaría hacer?
Yo quiero terminar mi 4º año, que es lo primero.
I want to finish my GED. That's first.
Y quiero manejar, quiero sacar sitio para manejar troces.
And I want to get a CDL license to drive trucks.
I don't have any further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Cuevas, I just want to clarify a few things. Whose car were you driving at the time of this offense?
Mr. Cuevas, solo quiero clarificar algunas cosas. ¿Qué vehículo usted estaba conduciendo en el momento que pasó esto, que sucedió esta ofensa?
Una RAV4, pero no la estaba manejando yo.
But I was not driving.
Whose car were you in?
¿En qué carro
My
estaba
cousin.
usted?
Una RAV4.
And you were driving. You were the only person in the car. When you were pulled over, you were driving.
No,
Usted
no,
estaba
I
guiando
was-
cuando lo pararon, usted era la única persona que estaba en el carro.
no, porque a mí me arrestaron el otro día.
No, because I was arrested the next day.
Okay, so you're talking about the incident that happened the night before, for which you received an unconditional discharge for illegally discharging a firearm.
Usted está hablando acerca del incidente que ocurrió la noche anterior, donde usted recibió una salida incondicional por descargar un arma de fuego.
La única
We're
persona que
talking
cogió un
about two
permiso.
different days here.
Like,
What were you doing on Williams Street? Why were you there?
Estamos hablando acerca de 2 incidentes distintos. ¿Qué usted estaba haciendo en la calle en Williams Street?
No, porque yo vivía ahí antes.
I used to live there.
You didn't live there anymore. What were you doing there?
Usted no vivía allá ahí. ¿Qué usted estaba haciendo ahí?
No, yo pasaba por ahí con mi primo cuando pasó eso.
I was just going through that place with my cousin when that happened.
So, okay, why were the shots fired? What was the problem with Frankie?
¿Cuál era el problema con Frankie?
No, con Frankie yo no tenía problema. Frankie lo que tenía era indiferencia, pero nosotros no teníamos problema nunca.
I didn't have any problems with Frankie. It was just more indifference between us. Having problems.
Okay, so then why were the shots
So-
fired?
Entonces, ¿por qué sucedió lo de los disparos? ¿Por qué se disparó un arma?
Fue al frente de esa calle. Esa calle fue ahí mismo, al frente.
It was in front of that street.
Okay, why was your car shooting at him?
Porque su vehículo estaba disparándole a esa persona.
No, a él no le estaban disparando. Mi primo disparó para arriba, pero a él no le dispararon a él.
My cousin didn't shoot at the person. He shot at the air.
There, you know, there's video coverage. There's
Ay,
video
yo sé que hay
of the
video.
shooting, not at the air.
I know that there's video.
I know.
Was,
because my
was your
lawyer-
cousin arrested?
Tu
No,
primo fue arrestado
no.
Why? Why?
Porque se fue corriendo
because
y
he
yo
took
pagué por el caso.
and I ended up paying for it, for the case.
Okay, so this shooting happens the night before. Why would you go back there the next day?
Si este incidente de los disparos sucedió la noche anterior, ¿por qué usted regresa a esa misma área del incidente?
Perdón.
Si este incidente de los disparos sucedió la noche anterior, ¿por qué usted regresó a ese mismo lugar al día siguiente?
No, yo no estaba en ese lugar. Yo fui a la casa primero a buscar un bulto, porque yo vivía ahí, a buscar un bulto que él me tiró en el balcón. Pero yo no tenía problema con él me tiró un bulto en el balcón. Yo estaba en la parte de atrás cuando me arrestó la policía.
I just went there because I went to get a bag in the porch.
The bag that you left the night before?
Él me tiró un bulto with socks, underwear, shirt. I living with him.
But you just said the night before you were just driving by. You didn't stop there.
No, pero donde me cogieron a mí fue en la otra calle, no en la casa de él. En la otra calle
So it
debajo,
was on
donde está
the
el
next
lago.
street down where the lake is at.
Why did you have drugs in the car? Were you selling or using heroin?
No, lo que cogieron fue, él tenía unos potes como de empacar, cosas así, pero no. Como corte tenía él, pero no tenía nada de droga. Como parafernalia, eso tenía él.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You can translate. Yeah.
He didn't have anything. It was just like bottles, like paraphernalia. But he
No,
didn't have
there was heroin in the car. There was methadone in the car. There were drugs in the car that they tested.
Yeah.
Why? Why were they in the car?
No, pero in the paper they don't put drugs. In
They
my
did.
paper,
They did.
just the code is the bottom for the, you
No.
know, for the
Nope.
cocaine.
Nope. Can you answer my question? Were you using or selling drugs?
¿Me puede contestar la pregunta? ¿Usted estaba usando o vendiendo drogas?
No, yo no usaba ni vendía. Yo no usaba ni vendía, eso todo era de él.
And I was not selling. It belonged to him.
It was in your possession with your wallet. It had your ID.
Estaba en su posesión con su billetera. También tenía su identificación.
No, pero es que en mi cartera no me cogieron nada. Mi cartera yo no me acuerdo que me cogieron nada.
There was nothing inside my wallet. I do not remember that they.
I don't remember that, que me cogieron cosas
Not
a
getting
mí.
anywhere. Mr. Cuevas, why are you incarcerated?
Mr. Cuevas, ¿por qué usted está en prisión?
Porque tengo cuatro veces firearm discharge, 4 times.
But it doesn't appear that you think you did anything wrong.
Ya, pero me cogieron a mí, no lo cogieron a él.
Yeah, but I was the one who was caught, not him.
Okay, when you were
So you pagué-
pulled over, why did you lie about your name? You gave a fake name.
Cuando usted lo arrestaron porque usted mintió acerca de su nombre y dio un nombre falso.
Yo no me acuerdo que yo di un nombre falso.
Do not remember that I gave a fake name.
Do you remember threatening to kill the police officers?
¿Te acuerda haber amenazado a matar a los oficiales de policía?
No, yo no me acuerdo. Jamás en mi vida yo haría una cosa así.
Okay. Were you high or were you intoxicated that night?
¿Estaba
No.
usted drogado entonces?
Yeah.
All right.
No, no.
I mean, come on. All right. So unfortunately, it doesn't appear that you're being open and honest with us today or that you've changed at all. I don't see that you've gained anything from this incarceration, sir.
Honestamente, siento que usted no está siendo honesto con nosotros en el día de hoy y que ha aprendido algo en esta encarcelación, señor.
If your children are in Puerto Rico, why were you in Connecticut?
Si sus hijos están en Puerto Rico, ¿por qué usted está en Connecticut?
Porque quería una vida, you know,
Am I stealing all your stuff?
quería trabajar.
because I wanted to work.
So your plan was to stay here? Because I thought I read that you were on vacation here.
Que tenía planeado quedarse porque leí que usted estaba en vacaciones aquí.
Me quedé a trabajar, ya.
I stayed to work.
Wow. Okay. And you want to stay in Connecticut?
¿Y usted
Yeah,
quiere quedarse en Connecticut?
yeah.
Okay. Ms. Zapo-Sasu.
So my question is, are the police lying and it's Frankie lying?
Mi pregunta es, entonces los oficiales de la policía están mintiendo y estaba también Frankie mintiendo.
Bueno, Frankie, el Frankie ese mintió porque yo a él nunca le hice nada malo.
So Frankie lied because I never did anything wrong to him.
Nothing.
Okay. I have no question.
Okay, we're going to deliberate about your case now, and we'll give you our decision shortly.
Vamos a deliberar acerca de su caso y le vamos a dar una decisión.
Mr. Paul.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Daniel Rice representing Gregory Whitting. I have Gregory Whitting with me.
Okay.
Mr. Rice, if you could hold on just a moment, we're not ready for your case.
Okay, thank you.
You just need a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Cuevas, I tried coming at this thing from many different ways as well as you did. And I think we're having a problem with honesty in this case, I really do. And the sentence is somewhere in December, end of November, December. And DOC has the ability to put them out if they deem fit.
You said when it's approved, yeah.
I just don't, I don't see where the change is here. And I can't support Pearl today.
Thank you.
Mr. Cuevas ha tenido un problema de honestidad en este caso con nosotros en el día de hoy. El final de su sentencia es en algún momento, aproximadamente noviembre o diciembre, y no veo dónde el cambio está en este caso. En este momento no puedo apoyar su salida bajo libertad condicional.
Agreed. Ms. Zapo-Sasu.
I do agree. I would just like to reference his mental health score as well as some of the diagnosis explanations. Obviously witnessing his father's death, and then the other issues associated with that. If you read those reports, show that there's been some work done in the facility that I would hope would continue, including recommendations for his release and some post-treatment. Maybe they can continue to work on some of that while he's in.
Quería hacer como referencia a su puntaje de salud mental. Él pudo hacer la muerte de su padre y veo que hay un trabajo que se ha hecho en la facilidad y entiendo que sería bueno que pudiera seguir este luego después de la salida.
Thank you. In the matter of Kevin Cuevas, inmate number 445151, I'll move to deny parole for the following reasons: the nature and circumstance of the current offenses and inadequate evidence of offender change. Is there anything else? Okay, is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
En el caso de Kevin Cuevas, 5115, hacemos una moción para negar su salida bajo libertad condicional por las siguientes razones: naturaleza y circunstancias de los ofensores, inadecuada evidencia de cambio en el defensor.
Thank you. You are, okay. His counselor can discuss that with him, yeah. Okay.
This concludes the hearing for Mr. Kevin Cuevas, inmate number 445151.
Oh. They don't give it to you?
Good friend. Mr. Garceau,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna need you to hold off, okay? We have one person before you.
He could stay there.
You can stay there. You can stay there. Just don't speak.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rice, you can unmute if you can hear me.
Press *6 to unmute.
I have Greg. Yes, ma'am, I have Gregory Whiting here.
Okay, perfect. We're ready for him. Mr. Whiting, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Martinez. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and by stating their names on the record, certified they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Good morning, Mike Paul.
And I'm Ellen Zaffo-Sasso.
Good morning, everybody.
Please state your name and Connecticut inmate number for the record.
Gregory Whiting. My Connecticut inmate number is, I need 1 second because I don't know it by heart. 362981.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Gregory Whiting, inmate number 362981. He is serving a sentence of 16 years jail consecutive to Rhode Island sentence for burglary first, assault third, and threatening second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of February 1st, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. Mr. Whiting has been employed as a chairman. He's completed sheet welding, automotive shop safety and maintenance, HVAC, specialty automotive sandblasting, automotive detailing and reconditioning, automotive bodywork prep and painting, and sheet metal welding and fabrication. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score on the SRT falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, Mr. Whiting.
First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for seeing me. And first of all, my age. I'm 62. I ain't in the best of health. I took this time and tried to better myself. I wish I could take back what happened. In my right frame of mind, I would never even consider a crime like that. But the drugs and the alcohol had me out of my mind. I took the time and tried to do the best I could with it. I hit a few programs in the beginning, but then I concentrated on my job, which was auto body, because I felt I need to be self-sufficient when I get out because my hair's gray and it's going to be hard to go knock on a door and ask for a job application looking like this when it looks more like I should be retired. I don't know. I'm ashamed to even have to talk about it because I would never even consider putting my hands on an elderly couple. I was one of the type of guys that stuck up for the handicapped, the elderly, the young. So to let the drugs and alcohol fuel me to do something like that, I'm ashamed of myself and I'm ashamed of my family, and I wish there was a way to take it all back, but I can't. And I don't know, I'm nervous right now because there's so much on the line right now. I've been here a long time.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your statement. We do have some questions for you. When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So it looks like you've been in Rhode Island since '09, so the past, well, almost 16 years, right?
I've been here my whole life.
No, I mean in that facility. I'm sorry. I meant in that
facility.
facility.
I've been here since 2008.
2000. Well, I mean, you were in New Haven initially, then you were transferred to Rhode Island. What's the name of the facility you're at?
The ACI?
What does ACI stand for?
adult correctional institution.
Oh, okay. Correctional institution. All right. Okay, so I understand you're from Rhode Island. You were only in Connecticut to use, right?
Yeah, well, I was using here. I just happened to be over the line.
Exactly. Yeah. Understood. I mean, you've been incarcerated for a long time. You had a serious drug problem that you mentioned yourself, which is why you committed this horrible offense.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess my question is, what have you done while you're there to address your addiction?
Well, I have sat in on the NAs and the AAs in the beginning, but then through the loss of family members, I lost my parents here, my mother, my father, 2 uncles, a niece and nephew to fentanyl, plus the time. I'm not that same man that committed that crime. I am, but I'm not. I came a long ways.
Okay, so there's no formal substance abuse program that you've taken while there?
Not full-time, part-time.
I don't know what that means. What's the name of the program, part-time?
NA, Narcotics Anonymous.
Right, so, okay, so
And
meetings and,
Anonymous.
all right. And outside of that, you've been working. How long have you been at your current job?
Well, I'm just coming over to this building a little over a year ago. Other than that, I was in one building, medium security, the whole time.
Okay, what was the job that you held?
Auto body repair, painting
So
and repair.
you did auto body repair while you were there for how many years?
About 8.5 years.
Okay, and what are you doing in the new building?
Right now, I'm just doing a little bit of maintenance.
Okay, for the past year. Have you had any disciplinary tickets there?
Not one.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me, I don't want to cut you off, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I haven't had one disciplinary problem since I've been here. Not one.
That's great. Okay.
I haven't had one dirty urine since I've been here.
So obviously you haven't been using drugs, but tell us what your plan is to remain sober when you return to the community, because you know, obviously you struggled there.
Well, to be honest, the way I feel, to be honest with you, I don't feel I have a lot of time left. The way my body feels, I feel like I got a good 10 years. And like right now, I don't have, if I was to die now, I don't have nothing to leave my kids. So I plan to go out there, find a job, and do the best I can, and try to lead them something for when I do pass.
Okay, but let's just suppose that you do get an urge to relapse. What would you do?
To be honest, the way I feel, I might have a problem with prescription pills because I hurt all over the place. I don't plan on using no more. I am not that guy no more. I won't even put myself in that situation.
Okay,
but
I just don't want you to be naive.
No, I'm not, ma'am.
I want you to have a plan in place. Who are your supports in the community?
My family, my wife.
You're asking to go live with your niece. Why not your wife?
Yes, because where my wife stays, she's on a fixed income. It used to be her and her handicapped sister. And you got to be on a lease. And with my record, I don't really know if I can go there. So my niece never been in trouble, so I could go there.
Got it. All right, so you're going to go live with your niece. Any job leads, or are you just going to try to pursue auto body?
Well, up until yesterday, I was on a work release. I was hoping I was going to leave here with a job. But I had to talk with you first before I can continue to pursue that avenue.
So you can start working while you're there on a work release program?
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but Connecticut said not at this time because that's like a halfway house if I was out there. So they said talk with you first then.
All right, but you were approved for that program?
Yes, I was in it.
Okay. Well, have you ever held employment outside of the prison?
No, we didn't get that far yet.
Understood. All right. So you have an 18-year probation term to follow this, or running actually, for a Rhode Island robbery first. Can you tell us about that offense?
Well, this all runs together. This
Okay.
was all at the same time.
Yeah.
The only thing was the difference in line, being in Connecticut and being Rhode Island, but this was all in the same 24-hour span.
Understood. So same time frame. So was it when you were in Rhode Island, you robbed another home in a similar fashion?
Yeah, before this crime, ma'am.
Okay. Was there somebody home during that offense?
No, that was at a gas station.
Okay. Gas station. One gas station?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. And you got 12 years with 18 years of probation. So, okay. So you do have a lot of supervision to follow
Yes.
this sentence. And hopefully there are a lot of resources in Rhode Island to help you with things like work and housing, and of course, relapse prevention support if you choose to participate, because you of all people should know that drugs have a very strong hold, and you have to be prepared in the event that you do struggle with a relapse. So you're still married, you have 4 adult kids. Are you in contact with them?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Are they in Rhode Island?
3 of them. One's in Kentucky. But my youngest kid is like 30 years old.
Right. I understand that. So are they supports to you?
Yes, they're waiting for me.
Okay,
They missed
good.
me.
Well,
They
you're very
missed-
lucky to still have that support after what you put them through, Mr. Whiting, all these years.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And-
punish
and-
myself with thoughts every day.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're doing well now. You're sober and clear-minded, and hopefully you can get those aches and pains addressed and live the rest of your life in peace, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for answering my questions. Ms. Zappo-Sassu?
Yes, Mr. Whiting. So my concern is similar to that of my colleagues, that your relapse prevention plan is a little too casual. I know that you've been incarcerated for a number of years, but I am concerned, when you look at your history, you were using alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine from a young age, and you acknowledge that you were on a bender when this Connecticut offense occurred. I too want you to be successful in your remaining years, but I think that you should strongly think about the risks and the triggers that you might have when you're outside of a structured environment where you are now. Your niece actually had a DUI. Are you sure that she's going to be in adequate support and that she does not have any triggers, even in her own household, that could be a problem for you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware of that. I'm sure of that. My niece works 3 jobs. I understand she had a problem, but she's not that type of person, and she's not gonna allow me. If I was to mess up, just for conversation, she would never allow me to be doing that around her. That's one of the stipulations of going to her house. She don't want none of that garbage around her. Plus, I'm not even looking forward to that. With all I lost, I would never use again. That's what brought me here. That's been ruining my life for a long time. It took me a long time to get to the man that I am right now. Go ahead, ma'am.
No, I'm glad to hear you verbalize all that, but I still think that when you're back in the community, you seem to have a lot of goals with finding a job and having some money to put aside. But I think you should probably still make time for yourself and do as many community programs, or find, NA or AA meetings, and create kind of your own social circle there, where it's a safe place where you will find people who have the same concerns and issues that you do, and so that you can continue to be successful.
Yes, I'm willing to continue to go to NA and AA anything that'll help keep me on the right track, even if I don't feel that urge. Because I never want to go through this again.
Thank you, Mr. Whiting.
Mr. Whiting, why did it take 4 years for you to get sentenced?
What did you say?
Why did it take 4 years for you to be sentenced?
That's not correct.
What do you mean? This offense took place in '08 and you were sentenced in 2012.
Yeah, because I did my Rhode Island time first.
So you were incarcerated in Rhode Island, so they didn't rush the Connecticut sentencing?
No, they had me in Rhode Island, and I was sentenced. I went to a sentence block, and I'd say two weeks, maybe. Connecticut came pick me up. That was in 2009. I went to court. I got sentenced, and then I started my Rhode Island time. Then I went up for parole in 2012, and because I was doing all the right things with no problem, they paroled me to my Connecticut sentence in 2012.
Oh, that's why it says that it started then. That's not the actual sentencing date. Okay, Mr. Cole, sorry.
No, thank you.
Yes, okay. All right, give us a few minutes to discuss your case, Mr. Whiting, and we're going to come back to you with our decision.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Mr. Whiting's obviously been incarcerated for 16 years now. He's been down a long time with no disciplinary report. So he has been clean and sober because they do test there and they're negative. He's been working for all these years and getting certificates in different vocational areas to prepare himself for his release because he will have to work, right? He does have support in Rhode Island where he is, where he'll remain, where he's from, family support. And, we expressed our concerns about sobriety, but he'll have years. His probation in Rhode Island doesn't end until 2038 to work with a probation officer to get the necessary support. So I would vote to grant parole. His risk is low. Ms. Applesassy?
I too support that. I think that the benefits of a long incarceration are the result of what we've heard today, the acknowledgement of the issues. And I do like the fact that he has had time to reflect and that there was remorse expressed for the very horrible crime that took place on our side of the border. So I would support.
Thank you. Mr. Paul?
I agree.
All right. Okay, so we have family members. We have one victim and two family members. No alcohol, a co-defendant to interstate and a halfway house. Anything else?
No alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In the matter of Greg Whiting, inmate number 362981, I'll move to grant parole on February 1st, 2025, with the following additional conditions. You're to have no contact with your victim, initials MJN, or her family members, KN or AW. No alcohol consumption. No contact with co-defendant Edward Gregory Northup. You'll parole to the interstate for Rhode Island and halfway house placement if it's needed. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have any questions, sir?
I just want to say thank you so much.
All right, sir. We certainly wish you the best. Hope you can go out there and be successful.
Man, I prayed for this.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you so much, everybody.
This concludes the hearing for Gregory Whiting, inmate number 362981. Mr. Whiting, you can hang up the call. You're all set. You'll get all of this in writing.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Give you two huge points. You see how I told you to talk about that? Did you see how that remorse was
Morning, my name is Parole Officer Martinez. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2025, and this is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and by stating their names on the record, certified they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good morning, sir. I'm Jennifer Zaccanini.
Good morning, Mike Pope.
And I'm Ellen Zappo Sasser.
Good morning.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
David Garceau, 264063.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for David Garceau, inmate number 264063. He is serving a sentence of 3 years jail for violation of probation or underlying offense of attempt at robbery second and larceny fifth. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of April 2nd, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. Mr. Garceau has maintained employment in the kitchen and was recently placed in maintenance. He has completed Tier 2, Good Intentions, Bad Choices, Voices, and Smart Recovery. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's own house score on the SRT falls within the moderate range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Hello. For me, I feel, I should be granted parole. I've taken this time here over the last 14 months to dig into myself and see what the real problem is. I'm sorry, I get emotional. Since I've been here, my son passed away, my oldest son, 24 years old, from a motorcycle accident. My 6-year-old son, he, asks for me every single day. I talk to him. My 17-year-old daughter, they want their father home. I've battled with drugs, a long time in my life, but I've never really taken the time to understand why or even look into it. The deep issues that I keep going back to drugs, just to try and numb myself and not feel, feelings or pain or whatever hard is going on in my life. I ran to drugs instead of dealing with it. This time I've been, I've taken these programs and listened and paid attention and, taken in what these classes have to offer and utilizing and listening made me think about things in my life and how I want to change for my children, how I want to be a better person in society and not keep continuing this. 45 years old and, this is not how I want my life to go. I want to live the rest of my life a good person, a good father, where my kids aren't, disappointed in me. My son goes to school and the kids ask him, "Where's your daddy?" And he says he's in jail, and then he gets paid fun of. It hurts. It hurts. And I'm disappointed. I'm, for the woman that, this incident happened with, nobody should have to feel like, there's somebody gonna come and try and rob them or, or do anything like that when you go into an ATM. When she's got to look behind her back, I feel sorry. Like, it's not who I want to be. And this time it's hit me real hard. I don't know, because of my age or just because I've taken this time to work on myself. I've built relationships, in the community, and I keep in contact with people that are in sobriety. Because the year before I came in was probably my worst year ever. Getting divorced. My mother got ran over by a vehicle. I witnessed somebody get decapitated on the highway on a motorcycle accident, and it was just too much for me. And that, I ended up relapsing. Bad choices. I didn't reach out to people that I should have reached out to that had their hand out waiting for me. I did the Tier 2 program. I wanted to get into the C-car because I like to help other people. They had one class here but they didn't continue it after the last graduation. But I got the guy's name that ran the program, Richard Walsh, and he's out of Hartford. And I have his card, so I plan on contacting him and staying in contact with a recovery coach from McCall Behavioral Health in Torrington. I had a recovery coach. She wrote a good letter for me.
Yeah.
I do have employment upon release. That's one thing I've always had is my work ethic is very good. You know, I have strong supports outside with my family, friends of mine. So that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Garceau, for your statement. We do have questions for you, and when we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and give you our decision. We'll begin with my colleague, Ms. Zakosasu.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, you know, you've given us a lot in your opening statement, and I'm not going to have you go back through all of the criminal issues and the convictions that led us here, but I am going to use it as a starting point.
Okay.
You were on probation at the time of this offense. Your record, we have it all. It goes back decades to when you were young. This is the 11th time you've been in jail, and you have 24 prior convictions. So on paper, you know, that's a concern for us. So that's why it's so important for us to listen to where you are now. And what I want to do is not spend a lot of time on what's happened. I want to focus on the future, because I think sometimes people do have to hit rock bottom before they can rebuild. And honestly, Mr. Garceau, it sounds like that's where you've been for a while. The one thing that I want to get out of the way is that you had previously, in the police report and in some other reports that we read, you had stated that you were actually playing a joke on the person at the ATM, that you thought it was someone you knew. Are you now acknowledging that that was something that you were purposefully doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that was, you were under the influence, or you were trying to get money so that you could continue to use at that point?
Correct.
Okay, so you're remorseful, and you acknowledge that that was something that was very uncomfortable for this person to go through.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So moving forward, you did get a very good recommendation from the Tier 2 counselor that was included in your packet. I've seen that you have a promise of employment from MJM. The one concern that I have about that, if that is still part of your release plan, is the length of the commute. Is that something that you're going to be able to handle from Torrington to Stamford?
Yes, ma'am. I'm used to traveling for work. I used to drive to New York every day, upstate New York, to go to work, different jobs. So it's a part of my career. So yes, I'm okay with that.
Okay, and to just stay on the release plan for a few moments, your plan that was documented in the report that we received from the parole officer was that you want to go to your mother in Torrington, or a halfway house.
Preferably my mother. She's still dealing with issues, surgeries and stuff from her incident that happened last year, or the year before. It's going on 2 years now. She's older in age. She lives by herself, and she would like me to come home and try and help her out, So I would love to be able to do that for her,
Okay, and so, and just to color the rest of your support dynamic, we did also receive a letter from your fiance.
Yes. No, that's actually from Filipina Graciano.
Yeah.
That's my ex-wife.
Oh.
That's my ex-wife.
So you have community support, and can you just kind of go through, in addition to your mother and your ex-wife, who else is in the mix for you in terms of community supports?
So I stay in contact with a couple guys that are in recovery. There's somebody that had left here went to a halfway house, and he's very big into the C-car, which I really want to get into, because helping other people in recovery helps me stay positive and clean, being around it. So I would like, to incorporate that. And I've been wanting to do it, but obviously being out there and messed up at the time, it's really not a thought. Now that I'm clean and sober, I want to go and I want to try and, put my all into it. So I just stay connected. And plus I need, another plan for me is to my therapist to talk to and to get back on my medication for my ADHD.
Are you referencing work that you've set up to do with McCall, or is that separate from that?
Yeah, so that would be like, I'd have my job, but I want to, offer my time to try and I want to get into the field somehow of recovery. In some aspect, I would like to do that. And whether it's going through McCall or CCAR to get my foot in the door to do that, that's what I want to do.
Okay, but separate from that, you're going to pursue outpatient therapy in the community for yourself?
I have to. Yes, okay. Absolutely. That's one of the biggest thing for me.
Thank you for that clarification. I noticed that you did have a period of sobriety that lasted over 5 years at one point. What was going on there in terms of support and employment that you managed to do that? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Everything seemed to, I came home from jail, I was sober in jail, but then when I came home from jail, everything was good. I had a good head on my shoulders. I knew where I wanted to go. I made it happen by utilizing what I had learned, by talking to people. When I use drugs, I shut everybody out. I don't talk to nobody. And that's what leads up to using the drugs, is when I start shutting people out. And, going to my mother's or seeing my mother every day. If I don't call my mother every day, she calls me and she knows that I'm about to mess up, or, that I'm an open book when it comes to that. Everybody sees it before me, so if it's brought to my attention, then I'm going to take that opportunity to use it and look back at myself and say, damn, you need to work on this. And another, I've never journaled in my life. And through the SMART recovery, they had, suggested to journal and write down these 4 things, like how you're feeling spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I do that every day. And at night, I go over it again and see if there's anything that's wrong in my day, and then how I can fix it for the next day, and it's worked for me. And I've been doing it for the last 4 months. I've filled up 4 binders already, composition books with just my daily things that are going through my mind and how I'm feeling. It keeps me centered.
In the letter that we received from your counselor at McCall, she referenced that you're mentoring fellow inmates.
So they don't have AA or NA in here in Walker. So we get together, there's 4 or 5 of us that get together once a week, and we sit down and we talk. We go through each other's week, see how we're doing. We check in with each other, as well as every day, every day before we go to work or whatever. How are you? 5 people came to my cell this morning. Good luck, and it feels good to have that.
So if there's no formal program at Walker, how did that come to be, this group that you're part of?
So it came out of the tier 2. We were doing tier 2, and then just the guys that we were in there with, we ended up saying it'd be good for us. Just another part to get out of your comfort zone and to get you familiar with it. So.
If you were granted release, there's going to be a period of supervision that's attached to this. Your record for previous community supervision has not been stellar. Can you talk a little bit about how maybe your mindset has changed about that and how you would use them as a resource?
Yeah, like I said, if I have anything going on, I want to be truthful and honest with everybody and anybody, because if I stay quiet, then I'm gonna, I have the chance of going back and doing the same thing that I've been doing. My children are my biggest thing. With my son passing and me not being able to be there to go and see him, because he lives in Florida. Well, he lived in Florida. It was the most hurtful thing that I've ever been through. I felt worthless, and because I couldn't be there for him, and then my youngest, he just every single day, Daddy, I just want you to come home. He's a daddy's boy. I did everything with him. We've lived together. I mean, so I'm all he knows, and he's lost without me. I'm lost without him. So I never want to make my children and family feel like this ever again, ever.
And I think that that's great motivation for you. So my last question along these lines is, have you identified potential triggers and risks once you're out in the community that could put all of this on the line for you and for your son?
Absolutely. Just not continuing with my care. Going to meetings, I have to go to meetings. Going to talk to somebody, to be uncomfortable and talk about my feelings and be able to cry in front of them if something's bothering me, like I am now in front of you guys. I don't like doing this. I'm a man. I shouldn't, that's how, we're brought up to be, but I can't be like that. It gets me nowhere. I don't want to be like that. I'd rather be like this and feel it than not feel it.
Okay, well, I think you've done a good job so far this morning. So I don't want you to think that the fact that you're confronting some of this and you're emotional about it is in any way an emasculating type thing. I think you needed to get to this point, but it did bring another question to mind, and then I will pass it on to my colleagues. Your use of alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine, just so that we have a clear picture of who you are today and where you've come from. What started you using? Was there a seminal event? Was there just something? And at what age did that become a major part of your life? Help us understand your story.
My father was an alcoholic. I grew up around it. My first beer I took it off the table while, he was sitting around and then just growing up. He was absent most of my life, in trouble. And unfortunately, I ended up taking that path, and had made these bad choices and not talking. My biggest thing is not talking about my problems, not talking about my life growing up, which I think is a big root of, how I've been, just trying to mask my problems by getting high and not think about things, So I need to get to the root of that and talk about it. And a therapist for me is what I need.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Mr. Paul?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Morning, Mr. Garceau.
Good morning.
So I'm sorry about your son.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad that you've engaged in recovery the way you have. And it's something what we do up here.
Yes.
And being a man, where do we get that from? Right?
Yeah.
So it really is about redefining that. And that our manhood isn't defined by not asking for help. We're not looking at where we need support. Things like that.
Yeah.
Good on you for putting a coach in your life. I don't know if you've experienced it before, but AA, NA, and SMART are also online.
Yes.
So, there's a lot of people in my morning meeting that are commuting. They just tune in, so you hear that positive topic and what's going on for the day. And it's the same thing at night. There's meetings online all the time.
Okay.
So that's something else you might want to put in your toolkit there.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
And you're right. You don't get high and drunk by what you do. You get high and drunk by what you don't do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I were able to give you one thing to leave here with, it's don't ever stop doing what you're doing.
When you stop is when I get in trouble.
Yeah. So,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Garceau, when is the last time you used?
It is November 7th of last year. The day before, the night of, when I got picked up for the violation of probation.
Okay. November 7th.
Not last year.
You mean 23. Yeah.
Yes,
You mean
I'm sorry.
23. Yeah. I got it. November 7th of 2023. Okay. So you have a little over a year under your belt.
Yes, ma'am.
You've taken these I looked at your case history because you've been in and out, you've taken these programs before. Did you learn anything new this time around?
I think I've grown inside because I've paid more attention to, not necessarily that I've learned more. I've paid attention more and I want it more this time.
Okay.
I took them, back then just to take them and go home. I never utilized them. I never really listened in them. And I think that's why I feel the way I feel today, because I think about it every single day. It's reality. It's reality to me, and it's reality to me every day when I call home and my son keeps asking me the same thing and I can't give him an answer. It just hurts. It's drilled into me every single day in everything that I do. So with that, that's probably the biggest thing for me is I've taken everything.
Understood. Now, you've had numerous violations of TS and parole, so they're all with a parole officer. Were you utilizing that officer as a support?
Absolutely not.
Assuming they were all drug related, right? Because they're technical in nature, so you probably relapse every time. So have you ever had a relationship with a parole officer where you called them and said, hey, I'm struggling, I need help?
No, I didn't.
You need to do that.
Absolutely.
It's their job to help you. They don't want to bring you back. We have enough business. We don't need any more. It's their job to help you, and you have to use them as a resource. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give us a few minutes to discuss your case, and we'll come back to you shortly with our decision.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. As you can see from the criminal history, this has been a problem that has dodged Mr. Garceau his entire life almost. However, today I feel that he's done the work and is starting to control his narrative as opposed to allowing the substances to control his narrative. He does have a release plan that's realistic to go to his mother. He has community support. He has a verified letter of employment. He set himself up for potentially involving himself with McCall. He's acknowledged the need for counseling and outside programs upon release, and he's taken responsibility for the impact on the victim of the crime. And now we've just seen that he's also acknowledged the role of community supervision moving forward. So I would support a grant of parole today, and I have 3 conditions and a question on a 4th.
What are your conditions?
No alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
There is the no contact with victim, initials SA, mental health evaluation, and then I just had a question on the driving one.
What do you mean there's a no contact with victim SA?
The person is listed from the ATM.
Oh, the underlying, I mean, that's not an existing,
That was
it's not
my
a current
question.
offense, so yeah.
So-
And I'm sorry, what's the other one?
I forgot to ask the status of his driver's license. Have a
So
driver's license?
can I speak on that?
Yeah.
Right, so before I had came in, my license has been suspended for 20 years. I've worked hard. When I was home, I worked hard. They finally gave me my license back. I was to have a breathalyzer in my vehicle for a year, but I ended up coming in jail. So as soon as I go home, I have to have the breathalyzer put back in a vehicle and they reinstate my license back. And
Okay.
that's so I have to have the interlock in my vehicle.
So we'll do without PO's permission, as soon as we have it installed.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll
so no
I'll give the
alcohol, no
paperwork.
driving without PO. What was your third?
Mental health evaluation.
I mean, we've been doing a lot of those and it's something they could do on their own. It was not recommended for him. So I would rather not.
It's actually connected with the call.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
already kind of set it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Pohl, sorry.
Aye.
Yeah, okay, all right. In the matter of David Garceau, inmate number 264063, I'll move to grant parole. Was it April 2nd?
Yes.
April 2nd, effective April 2nd, 2025, with the following additional conditions. No alcohol consumption and no driving without your parole officer's permission. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, sir, we wish you the best. Keep working.
Thank you so much.
This concludes the hearing for David Garceau, MD number 264063. Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Martinez. Today, Friday, January 10th, 2025. This is a case review being held for Duran-Colon, inmate number 417692. Board members, please state your names for the record.
Jennifer Zaccanini?
Mike Pohl.
Ellen Zambo Sasso.
Home Community Services submitted a request for restriction on pornography and enhanced internet and device monitoring conditions to be added. At this time, anyone on delivery and provide their decision for the record.
Okay, so for the record, their request says electronic monitoring, but it's, I'm sure mistaken, should say enhanced internet and device monitoring. Any objection to those conditions being added? All right, in the matter of Louis Duran-Colon, I'll move to add a restriction on pornography and enhanced internet and device monitoring. All other conditions will remain the same. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This concludes case review for Louis Duran-Colon and number 762. This concludes our packet for Friday, January 10th, 2025 for Walker Custom in case reviews at 10:37 a.m.